Wands, fire, passion, energy, creative drive. That's what they're usually known for. But there's a lot more to wands, depending on which perspective you look at them from. In this episode, we'll look at 5 theories you can use to analyze the minor arcana suit of wands. I'm Henry Alexander, and welcome to the Book of Mirrors. Episode 4, on the suit of wands. Today, we're going to dive into the wands. This is the suit of fire, energy, and willpower, but it can mean a lot more depending on which theory you use. We will review our 5 theories used to analyze the suits of the minor arcana and apply them to the suit of wands. Our first will be the psychological theory. In this theory, each suit corresponds to a different part of our psyche. While wands are often associated with energy, in this model, they also correspond to our behaviors, the things that we consistently spend our energy on. Our behaviors are also paired with our motivation and our drive. Again, 2 things that are fueled by our own internal energies. Even to meet our most basic needs, we still need that internal drive. So far, the suits have been working together in an order, with pentacles being our most basic needs, for example, the need to stay warm when it's cold out. Then cups, corresponding to our feelings. When it's cold out, we feel cold and we want warmth. From there, we move to wands, where we take action to seek warmth, whether that means finding warmer clothing or starting a fire. These drives can also motivate other things not connected with our basic needs. If we look back at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, at the top is self-actualization. To work on ourselves, we have to have the motivation. We have to put in the energy. We have to build habits around improving. If you want to learn more about this theory and how it works with the tarot, I suggest the Archetypal Tarot podcast. Our next theory is one that I've already touched upon, the elemental theory. Again, this is a theory more used in the occult. In this theory, each suit corresponds to a different element, and each element corresponds to an appropriate energy. Whereas Pentacles corresponds with Earth, which is a very calm, solid, dependable energy, Wands corresponds with Fire, which can be very outgoing, very impulsive. Again, it's that motivation and that drive. If we think about drive and motivation, those tend to feed into creativity. We put our energy into the things that we make. So whereas fire can sometimes be seen as a destructive or chaotic energy, we also use fire as a tool. Weapons are forged in flames. Glass is made when sand is heated. And you can't cook without a fire. This is a theory explored in many sources, so you'd be hard-pressed to find one that doesn't use this connection. Our third theory is the astrological theory. This theory connects each suit with an element, but takes it a step further and connects those elements with their appropriate zodiac signs. For pentacles, they matched with the earth signs. For cups, those took traits from the water signs. So of course, wands will have the same characteristics as the fire signs: Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Depending on the specific card, they can take traits of initiation of an action, having power behind decisions and actions, or having strong visions for the future, and the ability to set strong goals. As you begin working with different cards in the suit of wands, you'll notice that each one has very similar characteristics to one of those 3 signs. For example, the 3 of wands shows a man looking off into the horizon at the ships on the waves. Is he planning some far-off goal, or are those ships working for him? Either way, he has a vision of what he wants to accomplish. And if you ask me, that's a trait very common in a Sagittarius. If you want to learn more about astrology, the signs and their characteristics, I highly suggest you look up the Astrology podcast. Before we go into one of my favorite theories, I want to ask that you like, subscribe, share, follow, or leave a comment. And of course, I highly encourage you to leave any questions you have. Now, to my favorite theory, the alchemical theory. The alchemical theory doesn't talk about changing literal lead to literal gold. It's a metaphor for our own spiritual development, changing something basic, our lead self, into something more perfect and refined, our gold self. Wands correspond with the element of fire, and thus appropriately corresponds with the alchemical stage of calcination, wherein the substance is burned and destroyed by fire. In this stage, everything around the substance is burnt, revealing the true substance that we would work with. This would be our prima materia, our first, most basic element. How does this translate into the tarot? Well, nothing good comes without a little pain. We are constantly tested and put through trials by fire, which force us to learn and grow. Calcination is the first stage in our own self-development. We have to experience the pain of hurt. We have to experience hurt before we can be motivated to improve. And that pain is what drives a lot of the wands. We're motivated to do things because we don't like the position we're in. We're drawn to far off goals because we want to improve. This desire is what lights a fire underneath us and gets us going. And of course, what happens when we're motivated? We put in our energy. We change our habits. And that's how we get where we want to be. Our last theory is the social class theory. From this perspective, wands correspond with nobility and warriors, those who are willing to fight, each in their own way. They're motivated. But it's important to note, being motivated doesn't mean you just rush ahead blindly. It's key to be strategic and calculated. Remember, wands are the suit of motivation, drive, energy, inspiration. It's that forward momentum, that movement. It's the fuse that lights the dynamite. It's the spark that gets things going, whether it be a new artistic endeavor, a new career move, or maybe just your life's calling. Wands are the suit of movement and doing.